Ranveer Allahbadia has been spewing dirt, has shown the dirt in his mind, has been vomiting on air. Why should we protect you? Ominous words coming in from the Supreme Court aimed directly at Ranveer Allahbadia post the India's Got Latent controversy. So that entire controversy involving Ranveer Allahbadia, Samir Raina moving to the doors of the apex court. The questions we're asking: who's the one who's knocked on the doors of the Supreme Court? What reliefs are they seeking? What did the Supreme Court have to say about it? And what are the reliefs, if any? What are the protections, if any, that the Supreme Court has granted? Well, to begin with, it's Ranveer Allahbadia who's knocked on the doors of the apex court seeking protection. Mind you, he's facing at the very least 3 FIRs that at least we know of: Maharashtra, Guwahati, as well as Jaipur. And what's interesting is that, and that's an interesting side story, representing him in the highest court of the country is none other than the son of Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, the last Chief Justice of India. It's Abhinav Chandrachud that's appearing for Ranveer Allahbadia. Now, Abhinav put up a valiant argument, a valiant battle here before the apex court, where he argued that he's not at all defending the comments or the conduct of Ranveer Allahbadia, but rather he's citing multiple FIRs, that this is tantamount to an abuse of process. Also going on to say that not just Ranveer Allahbadia, but even his mother, his associates are beginning to receive death threats, and that is something that requires the intervention, the protection of the highest court of the country. Now, there were two very clear halves to the hearing. In the first half, the Supreme Court absolutely squarely condemned the content as well as the conduct of Ranveer Allahbadia. The Supreme Court said that he's been spewing out venom, he's been vomiting, and that this does not call for intervention or protection of the Supreme Court. Further, the Supreme Court went on to say that as far as the conduct itself is concerned, it would bring shame to fathers, to mothers, to parents, to society in general. In fact, the Supreme Court then went on to say that just because Ranveer Allahbadia is popular, that is no grounds, that is no reason for him to take liberties with societal norms, to openly flout them, and that this behavior should be squarely condemned. In fact, the Supreme Court did not stop there. It said that the Supreme Court has not been sitting in some ivory tower. It has been, in fact, going through social media. It knows that these comments came not originally from Ranveer Allahbadia, but from an Australian show, and that this is something that is not acceptable here in India, that such conduct which reflects on society, which reflects on his own thinking, is not something that the Supreme Court will look very kindly on. But having said that, the Supreme Court also said that we have constitutional courts in the country. It is not a kangaroo court. It is not a court of public opinion. And it is on that count that the Supreme Court, taking note of the fact that there have been previous instances of multiple FIRs against senior journalists such as Arnab Goswami, senior journalists such as Amish Devgan, the Supreme Court, keeping in line with that precedent, has granted the twin protection to Ranveer Allahbadia after that hearing. Number one, he cannot be arrested, at least as far as the FIRs that have been registered so far, Jaipur, Guwahati, Maharashtra. He cannot be arrested basis those FIRs. Further, the Supreme Court has also said that no further FIRs, at least as far as the India's Got Latent controversy is concerned, will be filed against the person in question, which in this case happens to be Ranveer Allahbadia. But there are some tough conditions that the Supreme Court has imposed. Number one, Ranveer Allahbadia will appear as summoned by all of these authorities. Number two, Ranveer Allahbadia will cooperate with all these investigating agencies, will not interfere, will not interrupt. Number three, he will not do any further shows in the interim. That is something that the Supreme Court said as an afterthought, but very clearly pointed in the direction of Abhinav, in the direction of Ranveer Allahbadia, that no further shows for now. And also importantly, has put restrictions on overseas travel for Ranveer Allahbadia, saying that you will need to deposit your passport at the local police station. So strict conditions being imposed on Ranveer Allahbadia, but nonetheless, the Supreme Court, after that flurry of condemnation, granting that protection to Ranveer Allahbadia.
Make informed decisions with comprehensive analysis on the go.
Strengthen your portfolio with real-time market updates on the go. Create effective strategies with insightful expert opinions on the go.
Grow on the go with CNBC-TV18, now streaming live 24/7 on YouTube.
Hey, thank you for watching this on CNBC TV18. Hope you liked it. For more such interesting news and updates, follow CNBC TV18 on all the social media platforms.